A typical day begins with how to survive today in order to making provisions for tomorrow. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chidi. In this video, I upload clips of videos from different workplaces where hardworking people engages in various kinds of activities in a way of earning a decent and legitimate living. Living here in this part of the world and talking from acquired experience, making a living entails what we as human beings engages ourselves with in order to keep sustained and keeping up with our utility bills and other commitments. Sometimes working under intense temperature drops, clearing up access for motorists and pedestrians. It takes effort to work under this kind of environment where we have a longer period of winter. People have to, or certain jobs will be assigned to people who will operate the different types of snow plow in order to clear up the pedestrians and motorists will drive through and the pedestrians walk paths. So it is good that some people are involved in this kind of services, and these are the kind of people or the kind of services that we have to compliment and upload their own effort and say a big thank you to them. Though in some cases, some people might want to indulge themselves in the kind of practices that are not legal, or this kind of practices that constitutes to crime, and these are the kind of practices and people that law-abiding citizens might want to abstain themselves from them.
Got him? We got him. All right. Our main target, we got him trying to exit. We disrupted this network, save lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go up onto the top, onto travelator. If you can breathe in as well, that will help us.
Everybody breathing. Try and hold.
As he holds his breath, the man's fate hangs in the balance. His day is about to get a lot worse.
100%. 100%.
He's stuffed with packages of drugs.
Okay, sir. From what we can see on the X-ray, looks like you have packages inside you. Time is 08:53 hours. I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved in the importation of a controlled drug. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something that you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that? Okay, sir.
He's got little packages which will probably be condoms full of cocaine, and now literally we've got to take him down, get him custodised, and then he needs to concentrate on getting those packages out because he doesn't realise, you know, if one of those burst or leaked, it could cost him his life.
All right, roger that.
So making a honest living entails hard work and decency. I take this opportunity to salute and applaud the effort of all the people who pushes hard, and I salute everybody who wakes up early, does themselves up, zip up their boots, and then be able to putting down their sweat and in order to earn a decent living. So in some cases you can imagine that this kind of situations might be something that is unconventional. It is not something that is comfortable, something that somebody might ordinarily want to do, because under this kind of intense temperature drop, there are people that might want to stay under their blanket, and I mean under the warmth of their blanket, and continue to lazy around, but jobs has to be done, and then we have to compliment the effort of people who sit up at night to be able to push away the snow that has fallen through the night, and then to be able to make sure that we wake up in the morning and then be able to have a footpath by which we have to work on. Apart from making the streets and the driveway very convenient for pedestrians and for motorists as well, during the winter season, some other jobs are also put into progress in terms of constructions. The drop in temperature does not indicate that the country has to be shut down. Activities continue, people do their delivery services, and the constructions job has to continue. Like you can see these guys that are riding this scooter at winter time. You can see, if you have observed him, he was riding, spreading his feet apart, using his legs to serve as a stud in case the ground becomes slippery and he risks falling down. So similar things or similar styles of living and hard working is the same that is applicable to people in parts of Asia and Africa. In Nigeria, my country, for example, there are people that does all kind of various jobs that require exhaustion of energy. Waking up in the morning and then dusting themselves up and then taking all sorts of risk in doing all kind of things in order to be able to put food on the table. This is a way to earn a decent living. So hustling is the same no matter what part of the world we are or living in. It is the definition of hustling is still the same thing. The only difference here in Europe is the system of recruitment into workplaces, insurance, employees' compensation in terms of work-related accidents, and of course the salary in terms of a value of the currency. But the sweat that we shed down is the same. I need to appreciate the effort of those guys who work hard in every part of the world, especially in Africa. For example, the truck pushers, the hawkers, and the vendors of all kinds of things, and then the motorcycle taxi operators who wakes up early in the morning to convey the passengers from one point to another. It is a big job that they are doing, and we thank them that without their assistance we cannot move from point A to B. And they are taking a lot of risk and doing this kind of job. So like I said, the difference in what they embark on in hustling is different from what is obtainable here in Europe in a very small way or proportion. Put into consideration the effort and the set objectives by hustlers in diaspora. It is not that we are glad to have left the comfort of staying at home with family members to travel thousands of kilometers in search of the so-called green pastures. We abstain and stay away from certain activities that requires our own attention at home. Sometimes it is sad being away from home, but at the same time, certain objectives are very essential in life and has to be attended to. Having the targets that were set from home and the burning desire to have them accomplished is the motivation factor, and most people that come to hustle in Europe here will draw inspiration from those events that are set from home. I can confidently say that life is not easy. Everybody I see or observe doing one thing or the other in service of humanity, I say to them thank you and I compliment their effort. So it doesn't really matter where you are. I am not just talking about people here in Europe or America. I'm also bearing in mind people that are in other parts of Africa and also in parts of Asia. Living in diaspora, doing all sorts of menial jobs, sometimes things that are unconventional. We accept in good heart whatever jobs opportunities that are offered by the legislations. The motivation or the driving force that boosts our energy or stamina makes us rise in the morning, do the tasks that are set in front of us, knowing that we have objectives or targets that are set before us, and then we are working hard to have them accomplished. So if I put my kid brother's case into perspective within the context of these objectives or ideologies, I don't need other evidences to corroborate my suspicion about what has happened to my kid brother, Joseph, who, to the best of my knowledge, lives in Austria. Everything said by my family members about whatever has happened to him or his whereabouts are all pointing to lies, complete lies. I can tell you guys, completely lies, everything said about him. Otherwise, how can a strong, energetic young man toil so hard, doing all kind of menial jobs, save up 43,000 euros, came up with the idea of buying a property to probably become a landlord and maybe put the house under lease and begin to earn from it, and probably begin to consider returning back to Nigeria. And suddenly the news came that he committed suicide. This is completely bullshit. Really, really, I don't agree with it. What an not only that he committed suicide on his own, he took his innocent little child along with him. This is crazy. This is typically the work of the devil. So, and a woman that is supposed to be the sister who lives in Canada, Franca, came all the way and collected 43,000 euros that belonged to Joseph. Let's take into, right now, let me take into consideration somebody who set a target of hustling in Europe, worked so hard, and has built up this kind of money. This is not a piece of cake money. 43,000 euro is no joke. It is a kind of money that most guys in America cannot even boast of, that kind of rich amount of money. And this amount is sufficient for somebody to hold as a capital for future investment that worthwhile. So I am really, really, really pissed off about whatever that is going on with the situation concerning my brother. So suspicion thrives or raises its ugly head where there is always dishonest people who lacks transparency in everything and every move they make. Like I said, this is not an isolated incident in my family. This kind of scenario has been very, very consistent, and I am very, very fed up of it. I've had enough of it. And with this, I will dive straight into previous events in my family that looks similar to this one. So what I'm going to do right now is to beg my few subscribers to stay with me in this story. Subscribe if you have not done so, because I'm going to go into details about all the work of the devil, how the lazy people have decided that what they have to do is to resolve into nefarious activities, because they know that this kind of incidents cannot be, I will not have sufficient evidence to be able to pin them to any crime, because this kind of situation cannot be investigated. So what I'm going to do is to bring out other evidence of the past that will have to portray this kind of activities that is going on in my family for a very long time, that somebody will now have to say, yes, this is not for nothing. For this young man to have worked very hard, save up this kind of money, and then called to his brothers and said, I want to buy a house, please, I need somebody to help me to look out for a property in the city where I can buy a house, and boom, the news came that he committed suicide, and somebody have traveled to Austria from Canada to pick up 43,000 euro. It needs a alarm bell ringing, and I am not going to lie low and let this to be swept under the carpet. So this is the situation. So working in Europe with a lot of plan is not just going to Europe and hustling and doing your own stuff and then working very hard to save up the money. You have to have a backup plans, serious plans of how to be able to, who you talk to, what informations you give to family members, who are your enemies, who are your friends, who are the people that wishes you well, what informations do you want to relate to them, the plan of how you want to invest the money that you have struggled to accumulate, is a very serious matter, and I don't think anybody in diaspora that is working very hard trying to save up money want to play stupid with his own plans about how he wants to spend his life in Europe. So saving up this kind of money and communicating with devils, with the Satan in the villages, and telling them, yeah, I have this money, bros, please, I want you to help me to find a house, or I want to buy a car, I want to buy this. It doesn't go that way. You don't know who has devilish plans behind their hearts, or that is concealing satanic plans against you. So it's not everybody that is wishing you well, that are happy that you are able to escape into Europe, even though it's not just like, it's not the bed of many roses. it's not a bed of roses. You, as everybody in Europe, are struggling, doing all what they can to be able to survive. So to those idiots in the villages think that yeah, the money is just, he dig it up and then we have to find a means to, stupid means to get that money out from him. There are so many of our guys. You can see these taxis that you see that are parked here are so many foreigners that are operating the taxis. They are working as taxi drivers. You can see others that are driving ambulances. You can see different kind of jobs. Anyway, thank you for watching and God bless you.